Hi friends, today we are going to study a poem written by Nissim Ezekiel, and the title of this poem is Night of the Scorpion. Nissim Ezekiel is a very famous Indian writer in English. He is widely accepted and acknowledged today as the father of modern Indian poetry in English. So Nissim Ezekiel is called the father of modern Indian poetry in English. In this poem, the poet laughs at the superstitious nature of the peasants, farmers. So, through this poem, the poet throws light on the superstitious nature of Indian farmers. We all Indians are very superstitious by nature, and through this poem, the poet throws light on the superstitious nature of Indians, particularly the illiterate farmers. The poem is typically Indian, both in physical environment it creates and the responses of different people it presents. It evokes our belief and practices. Evoke means farahummisu. So it brings out our belief system and our practices. The poet has presented the events as having taken place at some distance of time. So the poet narrates an incident which took place in past. The very first line of the poem brings into focus the incident of the narrator's mother being stung by a scorpion. So this incident took place in past. In this particular incident, we see the narrator's mother was stung by a scorpion. As it happened, the narrator's mother was stung by the scorpion during a rainy season. So once upon a time, in a rainy season, the scorpion had entered the narrator's house and had crawled under the sack of rice. Crawl means ದೇಕುವಿಕೆ ಅಥವಾ ತವಳುವಿಕೆ. Sack means ದೊಡ್ಡ ಚೀಲ. So during rainy season, the scorpion had entered the narrator's house and it had crawled under the sack of rice. Unfortunately, it stings the narrator's mother. It was a very painful experience for his mother. So naturally, when the narrator's mother was stung by a scorpion, it was really a very painful experience for the narrator's mother. So when the neighbors came to know about it, they come to see her. The patients came like swarms of flies and buzzed the name of God 100 times to paralyze the evil one. So the parents came like swarms of flies. Swarm means ಹಿಂಡು ಹಿಂಡು ಹಿಂಡಾಗಿ ಚಲಿಸು ಅಥವಾ ಗುಂಪಾಗಿ ಚಲಿಸು. So people or the neighbors they came and they started chanting the name of God 100 times so that its effect is decreased and she gets relief from the pain she was experiencing. These farmers were illiterate and superstitious by nature. First of all, they search for the scorpion. They really feel pity for the narrator's mother. As they come and see the narrator's mother, they start discussing its implications. According to them, every movement of the scorpion would bring pains to her as his poison would spread in her body. Some of them say, now they pray that the scorpion should sit still. So these villagers they pray that the scorpion should not move because if it moves, its poison would spread in her body and she will experience more pain. So these villagers, these farmers, they had different opinions about the sting of the scorpion. Some think that her sins of the previous life were burned away by the sting of the scorpion. So some of the farmers they think that because of that particular sting of the scorpion, the narrator's mother's previous life sin were burnt. Some say that her misfortunes and sufferings of the next birth would be purified and decreased. So there are various reactions. Some of the farmers they think that her previous life sins are burnt, whereas some others, they think that her next birth, suffering and misfortune would be purified and it will be decreased. According to some, the poison of the scorpion would purify her carnal desires. So, this is a kind of a purification, according to some, purification, Shuddhikarana. So, the poison of the scorpion would purify her carnal means laingika, indriya sukhada. More and more neighbors gather in order to see her, but the narrator's mother kept groaning. Groan means narrata. So more number of farmers they visit the narrator's house. In the meantime, the narrator's mother is experiencing a very severe pain and she is groaning. She is groaning. The narrator's father was not a superstitious person. He was rather a skeptic. Skeptic means sandehavadi. So here the narrator's father was not a superstitious person, so he applies some medicine to bring down her pains. But his efforts also fail. So here the narrator's father is a skeptic, he is not a superstitious person, he applies some medicine so that her pain is brought down, but his efforts also fail. Then a holy man comes and he performs his rites, achar, samskara vidhi. But all these attempts fail completely. The sting took its own time, and after 24 hours, it lost its sting. So there are various efforts made by various people to bring down her pain, but it took its own time, and after 24 hours, her pain was reduced. The end of the poem is very interesting here. Here we see the heart of the mother. She thanks God because the scorpion had stung her and spared her children. Here she is thanking God, sparing her children. Had her children stung by the scorpion, it would have been more painful for a mother to see her children suffering. So the end of the poem is very interesting here. The mother, thanks God because the scorpion had stung her and spared her children. So the poem ends there. So through this poem, the poet is telling us about the superstitious nature of Indian farmers. At the same time, the poet tells us about the mother's heart. The mother loves her children and she is ready to suffer.